Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have any other significant Leo placements, there may be a message in here for you. So Leo, to get started with your reading, there's a few messages coming in. I wrote them down. So the first is that be conscious of past energies that are clearing out. Sometimes you have to re-experience the past and make a different choice to fully clear the past. And what was coming through were things like regrets, guilt, shame, sadness, and loss. And like this is coming through as a strong message of like regret, like having like in the past maybe there's a choice that you regret, and this is coming through as like, especially if you're experiencing a lot of past energies or things coming back around, or like feeling nostalgic even for something from the past, like that's coming through as being like an opportunity to clear some of that regret. And I was also getting this message of being conscious of temptation. And temptation is coming through as being like temptation of past patterns or choices or something from the past that was lost due to you falling into temptation. That's how it's coming through. So especially when it's something like regret, like maybe there was something from the past where you gave into something that you shouldn't have. And as a result of that, you lost out on some sort of new opportunity or whatever. And so it's coming through kind of like that. Like this is an opportunity to change that or like to make the right choice. But that you may be experiencing like past energies like that are coming up again in order to clear them. That's not an easy message, Leo. So just take it if it resonates. You have the choice to not repeat that cycle. Okay, you're very close to achieving some sort of goal or finding some sort of success or manifesting something in the physical, but things are in the process of clearing. So be conscious of that, Leo. The past wants to repeat, but you have the ability to make a different choice. And what was really coming through strongly with that is that the past wants to repeat. That's how it was coming through. But you have the ability to make a different choice. And what I was also getting very strongly is are the colors like red and green, which of course we're in the season for that. Red and green are the colors of the season. But it's also coming through as like root chakra and heart chakra. There's something about those two energies. I feel like with the root chakra, it was kind of coming through as being like insecurities or things that we're self-conscious of, or things that are even related to like pain or shame or guilt or like fear, like all of those like tough energies that can live in the root chakra, like especially in terms of like physical security was how that was coming through. That's what I was getting for the root chakra. And for the heart, it's love, right? Like that's how it's feeling. It could be your ability to give love to others or to receive love from others. But it was also coming through with this energy of like stop and go, right? Like a red light versus green light. I don't know, that there's something about that's coming through. There's also this part of the year that we're in of like looking back while also looking forward, right? So it's kind of like that, like the opposites, like stop versus go. Maybe you're doing some sort of reflection. Again, I am getting a lot of past energies. It doesn't have to be just this past year. It could be like way in the past. And then I was seeing this interesting image for you, Leo, like the sensation of being on a train and watching a landscape go by. And for me, when I like trains are very nostalgic of a certain time in my life when I was in university, I would take the train from Toronto to Montreal or from Montreal to Toronto, I guess, to visit my family while I was in university. So that's what I think about with trains. Which is like, I actually really enjoyed that part. Like that, like holidays are kind of like a mixed bag of emotions for me, but the train is always something that I looked forward to. Like I always enjoyed being on the train. It's like this like feeling of like you don't have to worry about anything except being present, right? Like there's nothing really that you can do except sit there for 5 hours and either like what like there were times where I would just sit and watch the landscape go by. I wouldn't do anything. I would just sit and watch. I don't know. There's something about that for you. Like maybe you're, maybe there's something about home that's significant to you, whatever way that is. Anyway, Leo, the fairy cards are coming in very strongly for you today. Okay, Leo, let's get some energy for you. Only take those messages if they resonate. Okay, Leo. Can I get a fairy card for Leo? Interesting. The Friends and the Green Woman. And I, of course, am wearing the color green. Green is a significant color for you today. Could have something to do with the heart chakra. You also have here, if you look at those two numbers, 46 and 23. And 23, of course, times 2 is 46, which is interesting. Because it's also coming through with the Friends energy. So that's coming through with like a 2 of Cups aspect for you, Leo, which is very interesting that's coming through together. Okay, so something about friends is significant. Maybe there's a significant friend that is important to you at this time, or that is helping you through something at this time, or maybe just reaching out to friends, or I don't know. It does feel like something from the past. Okay, there's this little poem in this section about the Friends, which says, hands outstretched, reach across the rushing water. You study me, I study you on the slippery rocks of time. Hands reaching, giving, and giving in return. I'm so grateful to you for being there. I could never have managed alone. Yeah. Friendly cooperation with others is necessary to reach mutual goals. Willingness to give and receive assistance and support is also required. Ask friends for help and suggestions. Listen with respect and accept the gifts willingly offered. Unconditional receiving is even more difficult than unconditional giving. 4 feet are more stable than 2. You will benefit at this time from offering support and aid to a friend. Look around you. Someone you love may be needing your help and be too bound up by fear or rejection or pride to ask. Volunteer your help to your friends and give unconditionally from a generous, loving heart. It will do you good, increasing your store of credit for help in time of need, and it may even help them. Okay, so collaboration with others, reaching out to someone who may be in need of assistance, so this person feels like maybe they have a significant connection to you. I am getting you as the Green Woman though, Leo. Wildness, natural magic, expectant gratitude, untrammeled creativity. The Green Woman speaks to us of caring for our growing ground and of the physical satisfaction of being our natural selves and practicing our own innate magic. This is the time for enhancing the growth of our talents and abilities, a time of blossoming that will bear fruit. It may also be a time of growing maturity and self-confidence. Experience trusting yourself and trusting the process of growth. She also reminds us of material reward ahead and harvest of the seeds we have planted and nurtured. She counsels boldness and perseverance in the face of adversity. Yet she also reminds us that sometimes the only action we can take is to wait patiently and keep growing. Okay, so this is talking about growth for you, Leo. The message that always comes through with the green woman is this image of like a plant growing through like concrete, right? Like breaking through the concrete. So I am getting this energy of like, or that there's something like really potent that's growing for you at this time, Leo, and that it's maybe something that could be of benefit to other people, like help, like using this like creative potential that you have, or this creative force, your ability to break through potential obstacles and things like that that may help a friend in need, or maybe you're receiving that support at this time. So just take it how it resonates. You could be in either position. Pay attention to which color is more relevant to you. Obviously, for me, it's green. I don't have any Leo in my chart, but maybe you're feeling more drawn to red at this time. That could be that could be some sort of message about like having to stop or having to like pause, take a look at your surroundings. Maybe you're in need of help, like that. It's that kind of energy. So just, or if maybe you are, if you're, I don't know, I'm getting kind of this energy of green and red. Red is also this color of like, well, I just saw Santa Claus in my mind's eye, of course, but like, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's really interesting, the message that are coming through, like, because red can also be a color of threat, right? Like emergency, or anger is also part of that. But the energy that I'm getting for you, Leo, is this energy of green. Okay, can I get a card for Leo, please? For the animals. What is Leo's energy? The oyster. Interesting. And then you have the moth at the bottom of the deck, which is more green. The oyster talks about... Are you holding a secret? Patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. Focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. Yeah, the only problem is oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this could lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires in life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. Interesting, because it's kind of like you have this focus and determination, Leo, that is unmatched. And sometimes I get with the oyster, like hiding something. It's not quite that, because that to me, like hiding or being shy, can kind of be more of a raccoon energy from this deck. This feels more like you haven't quite yet discovered your gifts in something, like, or like you underestimate your gifts. That's also, I'm getting a lot of different energies for this, because the underestimating your own gifts can also be dolphin energy, which is interesting from this deck. There's also something here about, like, I feel like there's something here about, especially with this friends card, like maybe there's I'm kind of getting this feeling of not being fully aware of what you have to give to others. Like, I guess, yeah, underestimating what it is that you have to give, or like not, and it could be something like, let's say you have a friend who's struggling, and it's kind of like, oh, well, I don't know that they would necessarily, I don't know that it would be helpful if I reached out to them at this time, right? Like that, it's that kind of energy where I feel like you're underestimating your own influence, or the positive impact that you can have. It's kind of coming through like that. And I feel like there is actually something here, especially with the oyster, with this like sort of glowing light that's coming from within. Like you do absolutely have something to share, but that sort of like protective shell hasn't quite opened yet, which is fine, because it's something about like maybe not feeling ready for that. I also feel like because there's this like energy of 2, right? Like 23 times 2 is 46. There's something about 2 people coming together. Oh, this is another message that I was getting. 2 people coming together that is, that maybe is creative, like that creates the pearl in whatever way. I was also getting this message earlier, which I forgot about until now, of like a 3-legged race where you have 2 people and their inner, or their, I guess, the inner legs of one leg from each person are tied together, right? And the outer legs are free. And in order to move forward, you have to coordinate which legs are moving at the same time, right? Like there's something like that coming through. Like having to coordinate between you and another person, whoever this is to you, of like how to move forward based on, you know, cooperating with the other person, right? Like that's how it's coming through. I'm also getting this energy here of like feminine versus masculine energy. I feel like there's something about someone who is typically more in their masculine energy exploring a feminine aspect of their energy, which is really positive. It's really beneficial. I feel like there's also like it's coming through with like a masculine energy embracing their feminine aspects, which allows for more creative processes. Like expression is also part of that, like creative expression. It's allowing for more communication and cooperation as well. It's very interesting. A balancing is also what I'm getting for that. Okay, I'm going to pull cards for the other in this dynamic, if there is another Leo. That 3-legged race metaphor could also be within yourself as well, like learning how to because the way that's coming through is being like you have masculine energy, you have feminine energy, and then you have the union of those 2 energies within yourself, and those are almost operating as like 3 different legs, so to speak, to move something forward. And the better that you can get those 3 aspects of your life to coordinate together, the faster you move, right? The faster that things move. This could also be describing like 2 different aspects in your life that are moving simultaneously, even though they're technically independent of one another. Like, for example, one leg is your work, the other is your relationships, and there's the joining of those 2, where it's like the better your relationships are, the more success you have at work, right? Like that, for example, like something like that. The more success you have at work, the better your relationships are. And those 2 aspects coming together allows movement forward in both areas in your life. That's how it's coming through for you, Leo, which is interesting. Okay. For the other, Singer of Connection. Yeah. Vulnerability is always what I get with this card. An ecstasis. And you have the number 6 and 2. So you have like 6, 2, 4, 3, which are really significant. They're all sort of like mixing together. That's a really positive energy. I feel like there is something here about like relationships in general that feel really good right now, or are moving into a really good place, or like a lot of like trust in relationships. So ecstasy is something people seek. It feels better than good. It feels, well, ecstatic. We experience it in tiny bursts and in bigger surges. It enables us to recognize the sacred nature of our own being as an experienced fact, not merely a theory or article of faith. Ecstasy is not something we can make within ourselves, but something that flows through us when we open ourselves to it. It fills us with power and with the motivation to grow, to become what we have the positive potential of being, and to fulfill our purpose in being here and now on this planet. When we are feeling these surges of joy, we are empowered, and we know that we are on an appropriate track for us, the track that leads to greater meaning and fulfillment in our lives. This card in our reading says, among other things, go for it. It confirms that we are on course, moving in a good direction, and that we are in harmony with the great song. It says, great joy and great accomplishment are within your reach. Its song also lights up and empowers the cards around it, healing the past, intensifying the moment, enlightening the future. Yeah, I am getting that really strongly for you. It is feeling like this, like a three-legged race, which is also interesting because 2 times 3 gives you 6. So it's coming through with like 2 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, and 6 of Pentacles, and also a little bit of 6 of Cups as well, which is this feeling of like reciprocity in relationships, connection, collaboration, working together. There is like the 6 of Cups energy, which does feel like soul connections. Could be from the past as well. Doesn't have to be. Could be past life energy, but doesn't have to be. Equal give and take. You're mutually benefiting from a dynamic. You're lifting one another up like that. It's very positive what I'm getting for you, this external energy. But for you, Leo, I feel like there's this energy here of like maybe still feeling a bit uncertain about that with the oyster, like not quite revealing all yet is how it's feeling, which is fine. That's not a judgment. It's more just how your energy is coming through. And I feel like there are people who are very respectful of this space as well for you. Okay, could I get an animal card for the external energy? Vulture. Very interesting. This is a card about clearing. Yeah, clearing toxins is what the vulture comes through with. There may be some, and you have horse at the bottom of the deck. There may be someone from whatever. It doesn't matter if they're from the past or not. I think that like it could be there's someone that you are connected to already, whether or not you know this person yet, or if they're in their physical or whatever. There's somebody that you're connected to spiritually, emotionally, who is going through some sort of clearing, is how it is coming through, of a toxin in their energy, in their aura, in their space, maybe in something that's related to their emotions or their spirit is how it's feeling, or maybe even mind, because you have I'm getting tons of water, but it could also be like their thought process or something like that. And and I feel like there is something like clearing out. What I'm getting, like, I got this image a couple days ago, and it feels like it's coming up again for you, Leo, of like, if you've been, for example, like away on vacation for a while and you come back home and like the water in the taps haven't been used, so that stagnant water, like having to like let the water just flow out for a bit, like clearing out all that stagnant water that's been sitting in the pipes for however long before you can start using it again. Like, it's kind of giving me that energy here with the vulture of like, maybe there's been something in this person's life that's been sort of like dormant or not in use in whatever way that is. Could be emotional, like it could be something of like connection or ecstasy or joy, like those kind of energies is what I feel like is flowing through them, and it's clearing out something that's been sort of like stagnant or dormant for a long time, is how that's coming through. Interesting. So it could be that there's currently between you a bit of a distance, but that it's perhaps closing. The distance is closing. Maybe you're waiting for something. Sometimes the oyster to me also represents like waiting for the reveal of something. I'm getting with this oyster like a little bit of a reveal of something, or like what I'm getting, this image that I'm getting is like the curtains before play, right? Like red curtains before the play is currently hiding something, right? Because it's not time yet, but that they're being pulled back, right? Like the curtains are being pulled back, and it's kind of like there's this anticipation that I'm getting with this. Can I get some cards for Leo, please? Chair empty. Someone is leaving your life. You have woman, dark man, and casket. Someone going out of your life or the end of a situation, which is interesting. There's some sort of ending. Okay, you have chain. A chain of events that will affect your life. You have kite, vacation, and you have pin, a new job or career. Okay, so there may be someone from a workspace that's leaving. I don't know. It's very specific. There's someone from your workspace that's leaving, or that there's an end of a situation. Maybe this has already happened for you. A chain of events that will affect your life, because I'm almost getting now with that energy of like theater or a play. Excuse me. Where it's like, you know how they have understudies, right? Like where it's kind of like you are the understudy to the lead actor or whatever, and it's kind of like maybe this is kind of coming through as being like your it's like, I don't know, something happens to the lead actor or whatever, and so you're called up as the understudy. This message came through in a reading a while ago, which I will link above if I can find it. I can't remember if it was Virgo, but that's how it's feeling. I'm almost kind of getting like something where, like, or maybe like someone takes a vacation or something like that. It leads to a new career or job for you. And it's kind of like with the oyster, like the understudy has been preparing for this, but hasn't quite had their moment to shine yet. That's how it's feeling. Something like that for you, Leo, which is interesting. So it's kind of like this is your moment to shine. I do feel like there's also something here of like you being like lifted up, because I also get that with the friends card, right? There's like assistance coming in the form of a friend. But there is a chain of events that will affect your life. Like, Okay, could I get cards for the external energy? Grasshopper. Situations in the balance that require careful handling. Okay, so that's coming out for the vulture. A situation in the balance. Arrow. You are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. Peacock. Beware of great pride. The wheel. Indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. You have May. I'm going to get one more. And Vulture again. Interesting. Depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. So this person has, I'm going to say person, but it doesn't have to be a singular person. It could be a group for some of you. They have Vulture twice, which is very interesting. Depression or anxiety, worry that someone is against you. I feel like that's part of what they're clearing. It's interesting because they also have wheel and arrow, which is kind of like this, like those feel like opposites to me, where it's like indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly versus being on the right path to something. It's kind of, and with the grasshopper, a situation that requires careful balance. It's almost like they're flip-flopping between those two things, like being really decisive, clearly having a goal or intention or purpose, versus feeling indecisive or allowing their life to ramble aimlessly, as the card says, like not having a clear purpose, not sure what to do, like that kind of energy. It's kind of like they're flip-flopping between those two. It's kind of also coming through with two swords energy, like having two swords that are crossed, where it's like, but it's like that's part of the process that's necessary in order to clear whatever it is that they're clearing. It could have something to do, okay, you have the Hobjob at the bottom of the deck, which is a card about fear and self-limitations and the voice in our head that tells us that we can't do something. That's what that card represents. It also is like anxiety, Nine of Swords. It's a fear card, and a self-doubt card. I feel like there's an aspect between you and this other. Again, this other can be a person or a group of people, where there's a lot of trust that is needing to that is needing to be had, I guess, like trusting in one another, that like whatever it is, like being patient as well, having compassion for what the other may be going through. I feel like Leo, there's something here about like it feels kind of like you're waiting for the right opportunity or something like that is kind of how it's coming through. Like with the chain, there, like you're waiting for the right opportunity, or there's something here about like, again, like you're on a train. There's only so much you can do while you're on the train. Like you are moving forward, but you're sort of limited to until you get off the train to be able to do something, right? Like that's how it's coming through. This feeling of like your movement is limited by certain events or something external to you or something like that. This energy also feels kind of like they're waiting for that. Like there's this I don't know, like a situation in the balance. They're on this side, it feels kind of like a bit of a time constraint that's coming through here, like something that's dependent on timing. Or, so I don't know, maybe May has something to do with it. Maybe they have Taurus somewhere in their chart. But Vulture to me gives me strong Scorpio energy. So maybe they have Scorpio. And Scorpio and Taurus, of course, are opposites, which is also coming through with this wheel versus arrow, stop versus go, like opposite energies that are sort of being balanced. I feel like this may also explain a dynamic for some of you. Only take this if it resonates. It won't be for all. Where this person may have had the wrong idea about you is just how it's coming through. Or there's also something about like, let's say so they may have been projecting their own insecurities onto you, like not in a negative way necessarily, Leo, but it could be something where it's like, let's say they have an insecurity about like I don't know, like okay, so the example that's coming through is like, let's say this person doesn't like to cook, for example. That it's not an insecurity. It's just like they don't like to cook. They find it to be very burdensome. They don't like cooking. They don't enjoy the process. Maybe they're not good at it, right? Like that kind of thing. So it's like they have like they also assume that other people don't like to cook. So they see you, Leo, and say, oh, well, I don't want to ask Leo to cook because I hate cooking. And if somebody asked me to cook, I would hate that, right? But maybe, Leo, maybe you're an expert chef. Maybe you love to cook. Maybe that's like your one true passion or whatever. And so it's like they did not ask you, Leo, to cook for them, for example, or cook for whatever, if this is your boss or whatever it is, whatever situation it is. I'm just using that as an example. They did not ask you to do that because they assumed that you wouldn't like that based on what they wouldn't like, right? Like that's how it's feeling. So it's like that, in that way, there may have been this misunderstanding about a dynamic or something like that based on one or both people's own preferences or insecurities or like things that they dislike or whatever, where that might not have been true of the other person. So it's kind of like there's something like that I feel like is clearing. Like maybe somebody not wanting to burden you with something that for them is a really big burden, but for you is not, right? Like it's kind of coming through like that. I'm just going to pull a few cards. Can I get one tarot card for Leo? Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords, the truth. It's so interesting because I feel like this card and the Three of Swords in this deck, upon first glance, look very similar. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, is that the Three of Swords? But it's the Ace, which feels like significant to your energy. Like there's something here about like a perception of a Three of Swords, right? Like thinking that something's going to be worse than it is, but it's not. Thinking that something's going to turn out badly, or there could also be like a fear of heartbreak or whatever. Rejection, a fear of rejection could also be part of it, but it's not that. Like the oyster is also coming through as like trying to protect one's truth, maybe. Okay, can I get a card for the external energy? Okay, yeah, the Devil, the Eight of Wands, and the Six of Swords. And there's a lot of red in these cards as well. The Six of Swords from this deck talks to me about like accepting the positive and negative experiences from the past and integrating that and accepting that there is a balance of loss and gain. That's sort of how it's coming through. With the Eight of Wands and the Devil, okay, what's the Devil energy? Could I get one more card for that? The Hanged Man. This Devil card is really interesting because the Devil in traditional tarot has the lovers that are separated, right? But the lovers here are actually connected. So it's actually kind of coming through as being like facing a problem together, like a commitment or a contract. Like this feels like a Devil energy that feels like a contract, right, between two people, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because the Hanged Man is telling me like getting a new perspective on that, like especially if it's something where it's like, for example, like one person cooks, one person cleans. That's a contract between two people, and in this case, mutually beneficial. Where, let's say, the person who loves to cook hates cleaning, the person who hates cooking loves to clean. Like, for example, like I know that's very simplistic. Like it's coming through like that. Like there's something about like a contractual agreement between you and this person. Okay, can I get one card for the dynamic between the two of you? So it could also be that you have different strengths. Two of Pentacles. I feel like you're both independently holding on to what you have, not in a negative way. It's kind of like yeah, the Star. Okay, I had a feeling the Star card was going to come out. You have Three of Wands, Ten of Swords, and the Star. I feel like there's something here about like this Two of Pentacles. What I'm seeing, or what I was getting with this, is kind of like bringing what you have to the table. That's how it was coming through. Bringing what you have to the table. This is what I can offer. This is what I'm good at. This is how I can help. This is like all the things that I feel I'm capable of doing well, right? Like, and it feels like the other person is also doing that. And it what I'm getting here is that there's it's almost like you are filling the gaps for this other person and vice versa. Filling the gaps, right? Like, it's like you can cook, they love to clean, for example. I don't know who loves to clean, but like that just as an example. And like, they hate cooking and you love cooking, right? Like that kind of thing. Especially with this card that's coming through with that message of like, filling the gaps. If there's something interesting here though, of the Ten of Swords and the Star, like healing some sort of like pain, healing some sort of significant pain from the past that somehow, I feel like with the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck, there's something here about like maybe pride that in the past has gotten in the way, like pride or like wanting to do everything by yourself, like not allowing help from other people, being stubborn in terms of like not allowing others to help you, right? That could be part of it. That could be part of the dynamic. That could be your energy or the other person's or both. But I do feel like that's healing. So, Leo, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.